Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in my lab. And yeah, I'm in the book. We're doing our thing, climbing that tree life. But we're going to learn about how to master yourself or your spiritual disciplines by doing what? Practicing them daily. Let's talk about it. Right-isms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you real life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we get with this? Let's get it together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Maya be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about how do you master your spiritual or self-disciplines by practicing them when? Daily. Let's go. I'm going to break down the symbol of the crook and the flail for you right quick, and the meaning, the symbolic meaning for how you can use it, they could say, for a more noble and glorious purpose, speculative meaning of the hook, the crook, and the flail. Let's start with the action of the flail. The flail is a self-discipline in the practice of your spiritual disciplines of Shidi in relations to the efforts that you put forth in the application of those principles of at each level of the tree as you go it up. And this action of the flare is diligence and it's discipline on your spiritual path is what purifies your separated, what purifies you, separating you from the mixture, aka entanglements of the nonsense that has developed in society around you. But the mixture of your transcendental personal nature with time and space and objects, delusions of your mortal reality into ever changing and weak and ignorant personality, aka you're under your egoistic concept, your ego self. That's called egoism. You're driven by self motives, okay? Satisfy only yourself. So eyeball itching. Every human personality is a mixture of these qualities. These are qualities that you have in you that you can control directly. Your soul is in there. You know that. That's the soul. Your eternal aspect, the spirit, that's forever. And now your ego is in there. Ding, 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 ding. He's running the show. He think he's all that. He gonna kill your spirit, the soul. He don't want to kill the soul. That's what the ego represents, okay? The takeover by force. And you have some intellect in there also, aspect of your character. And you also have some mortal aspect. That's the ego. Ego is mortal. It ain't God. And you have some bit of what we call aspirations. That's because you aspire to do what? Something better for yourself. We are aspired by nature to do that. It's in us. But always with a person who is not pure, their aspirations is going to be eventually throttled, meaning they're going to get what they deserve, karma. All those sneaky, deceitful people who getting over, stealing in the name of the Lord, professing to be this and professing to be that the whole time, just getting what they want, monetary things, sometimes pleasures of the flesh, but they will be dealt with. Trust me. Don't worry. Your job ain't, you ain't the police, you ain't the right, doing living right ethics police, the moral police. No, karma, that's her job. Okay, so if your aspirations is not pure, my name starts with pure. That's what I'm saying. P means pure. And if your aspirations are not pure, meaning from the heart, your intentions, it is going to be throttled. It won't work. Simple. They tell you that. Now you are going to try to be a good person. That's the right thinker. You are going to try to do the right thing. I'm on that line right there. Listen, for other people. Ding, ding, ding. That's called selfless service. I'm always looking to help somebody else out. A situation that don't hurt me to help them. I'm not going to go out my way, put myself in hurt, harm, or danger. But within reason, yeah, that's what I do. Okay. But now you are going to try to live right and follow the path of righteousness and integrity. So now you have laid out, this is the plan, the path, excuse me, this is the path that has been already laid out by who? The sages. You are going now to try stop eating things that's not healthy for you, pork, such as whatever it is, meat. You are going to try to do what? You're going to try not to do something that is going to cause you to end up in jail selling drugs. I gave that up a long time ago. Why? Because it would let me back in jail. Now, I ain't trying to do that again. So once was enough for me. I learned my lesson, not so much for him. But now you are trying to not what? Get into fights. I'm a puncher. I had to digress and regress from, of course, what somebody say or what they made me feel. I ain't got the right to just punch them in the face. So I wish I could still do it, but I digress. But now your personality is changing. It's defectiveness. And now you will, because of this egoistic personality, you will make mistakes. And that is why there must be a process of what we call ab. It means purification of one's heart by being honest and sincere in your actions daily. You don't put it on to look good now. No, you wear it like a sheet of armor. I do. And this is the first level. That's just the first level of priestly service. Giving. I just did a lesson. God bless the cheerful giver. If you giving to receive, you ain't a cheerful giver. You giving with an agenda. So cheerful giver, no, don't be nothing. Give it away. I'm here every day being a cheerful giver of knowledge. So it's the first level of your priestly service. Okay? Its objective is to render your personality what? Morally pure. That's the purpose of my philosophy. To get you thinking, acting, in moral and ethical conduct on a day-to-day basis to yourself and towards others. And when everybody's on the same page, it's a beautiful thing. Our ancestors in Egypt did it for 3,000 years. That's what I went to Egypt for. Not for the dogged colors and dashiki. I don't give a crap about none of that. Love it, good, yeah, but that's not my thing. I'm a sweatsuit man. But my point is, I went there to get knowledge, and I got it. Now, I'm trying to give it to you. Same way my man Alan Watts went over to China, East, Middle East, learned their ways, the way, a Wu way, all that good stuff. Yeah, came back and taught it. He didn't practice it. He taught it, but he said, look, I'm a fraud. I can teach this. I learned it. I don't live it. I live mine. Okay, that's the title of a sage. But you, okay, you yourself with the flare, you must hit yourself symbolically with the flare. And the flare means what? Self-discipline. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Now I think before I act, so I won't wreck myself. Why? Because I'm checking myself with thought before the action. A lot of people do the action and then they want to check themselves after they did the action. That's Monday morning quarterbacking. You can't prevent nothing after you do it. Following these teachings, practicing them, and that have been laid out for thousands of years. I went back and got an ancient concept and modernized it, and it works like a charm to this very day. It still works, okay? It's already been laid out. And when you listen, reflect, and meditate on the teachings and the lessons and the rest of your spiritual disciplines, we call Shidi or Sejim. What that means? That means to listen, reflect, meditate, and apply, aka obey it by living it in your day-to-day life, making it part of your life. This is what the sages had decreed. You must understand that you are not just a mindless human animal, aka being, which the ego thinks, and that has come into this realm of what? Generation. Physical body can reproduce. That's what we're here to do. Be fruitful and multiply. But if you want to not be here again, reincarnate, know thyself, stop the matrix, stop the cycle of death, life, and rebirth. Okay? Go home. Know yourself. That's how you can get home. But the realm where things generate, the physical realm, and multiply, be fruitful, this is the realm where you have sex. Yeah, the physical, the spirit realm, astral realm, no more sex. That's for physical. That's for human beings, not spiritual beings. Spirit don't multiply. Physical body do. Okay, so you have sex, you make babies, but you can have sex and not make babies. Man on man ain't gonna make no baby. Woman on woman ain't gonna make a baby. So y'all got that as a lifestyle. That's a destructive lifestyle. Why? You can't reproduce. Moving on, you just having pleasure of the flesh. And it's more to life than that. But some people like that, so y'all stuck on stupid. Knock yourself out. But now where you got galaxies that's colliding and bringing forth new worlds, there is an aspect of you that what? That don't generate. Yeah. Pay attention. That does not bring forth any children. And that has been born that doesn't do anything. What the hell? Do you realize that if you come into existence, if you're born into this world, if you bring anything into this existence, that thing, just like you, eventually will come what? Out of existence. It's gonna die. Nature lives and dies, regenerates. And because it's not real, it doesn't exist in what we call the abiding way. If it ain't abiding, it ain't right. It's fake. Now, as an absolute reality, that's why Maya is still Maya. She's abiding. Ain't changed a bit. Only that which is absolute can exist what? Forever. And eternity, that's a long ass time. There's no time ever in eternity. Why? There's not in time and space. Physical time and space. Eternity don't keep track of time. Okay? Now, because what? No beginning and no end. That's the purpose of the circle. God being described as a circle. Why? You can't see where it begins. You can't see where it ends. Okay? That's the concept of eternity. You don't know where it begins, where it ends. All right? So now, this aspect, no beginning, okay, therefore no end. So the flare, which got the three things on it, okay, you separate the chafe. I still don't know what the hell the chafe is, okay, well, I ain't did that yet. All right, but the flare is what discipline separates you from what is not real. That's Anubis. Your discernment should say, yo, you full of crap. You real. I just told my pastor this morning, I'm your church Anubis. Why? I can tell who is real and who ain't. Just like he's come in my house and tell me who was it, who wasn't. I see him. I do the same thing with him in church. We laugh about that to this day. But from the aspects of your own personality, the worldly from the spiritual. You are a spirit being having a human experience. The world is of human. The spirit is of not time and space. It don't die. That's what's inside you that don't do nothing. So when it go where it's got to go, it don't do nothing there either. And what does it expect from you? Let's look at two specific divinities. This is how you climb the tree of life, conquering these divinities as you go within yourself, your character. And they relate to what? To this point, we are talking about right now, these divinities that are just opposed, I mean opposite each other. And in the realm, in the Thai realm, Set, which represented your ego, and Aset represents your intuitive wisdom. She's wisdom personified. They don't get along. They brother and sister, but they opposites. One is good and one ain't. They don't get along. That's opposites actually. They are in arrow pointing to each other like that. His going up, hers going down to him. But these are the important connections that will allow you to start your spiritual cycle journey on the tree of life as we got climbing up. The first level is Set. Set and Aset are rivals, aka enemies, sworn natural enemies, as it were. Why? Though the term enemy is not appropriate because it seems like they don't know, but they don't mix oil and water. How about that? So again, from higher, it's not appropriate because from a higher perspective, more intellectual wisdom concept, they are just opposites, meaning he's evil, she's knowledge. All human beings who have not discovered their higher nature live lives controlled by their egos. There you go. And to some degree, that is who? Set. So in order to counter egoism, how you defeat it, I tell you all the time, if you're ignorant, egoism isn't, you combat it with knowledge. That's where our Set comes in. Wisdom, intuitive knowledge, which is where you are starting from. So you need to apply wisdom, aka knowledge. What this means is that if you have more Satanian egoism in you, in your personality, egoism, emotionality, lust, desires, selfishness, those are all negative qualities run by the ego. And if you're ego driven, you don't see them as negative qualities. You see them as this who I am, this is how I am. And most people say, well, that's how I am, blah, blah, blah. Ignorant. Okay, that's their choice. Moving on. So now you are going to have what? Less knowledge, less wisdom, less Aset in your life. And from a broad perspective, it's really representing Maya, which is order, righteousness, ethics, and moral conduct for the individual. That eradicates that Satanian conduct. That's how you combat it. And it includes here, and since Maya is another aspect of Aset, remember, you all work together. So you also need to adopt ethical conscience, and it's spelling conscience with CONSCIENCE. That means study. That means getting proof. Science proves certain things. And when you got ethical consciousness, and you act with ethical behavior, this means that you're following the precepts of right thinking philosophy, aka Maya. If you have more egoism, now you are going to have less intellectual capacity to be able to understand the wisdom teachings because egoism clouds one's intellect. And without intellectual development, meaning study, learning, comprehending, there will be even less capacity for what? Intuitional knowledge and understanding, which is what represented by Aset about your life. So now wisdom occurs in the personality in a direct relationship proportionate to one's presence of egoism. Depending on how ego you are, depending on how intelligent you're going to be. Because you already think you know. And I know guys who believe they know, think they know, and don't know jack. So it ain't about what you believe. It's about what you know. And you need to know you. And same thing applies to what? Asar and Netet. Asar, soul, spirit, Netet, morality, mortality. She's not nature. She represents birth and death. She's around at birth, she's around at the death. Why? She's nature. She represents nature from that aspect. Your mortality aspect of yourself. You got to realize that my ego, Set, and my morality, not that, they don't do nothing. They don't produce nothing. I got to get past them. Yeah, get him out the way, get her out the way, move on up to our set, which is your intuition, knowledge, your wisdom, and your state of immortality, because you're starting to realize you are a spirit being, not a human being, set in us. Set and that represents the human aspect. That's the first letter on the climbing the tree of life. That's why they're there. When you get to a star, you get to the top. So the more conscious you are of that, okay, which is your self-image as what? A mortal being. She represents mortality. That you have in your personality, and that less what I said, wisdom and natural understanding about immortality. And now you are less aware of your soul. So now you have that, and you're aware. The awareness is of immortal soul beyond one's body when you have what I said, knowledge of self, wisdom, intuitive knowledge. We will discuss these more in the detail later on, but briefly, that represents again mortality. If you're born, you're going to die. So, and that's your idea of yourself as a mortal, finite being. The ego believes that. He believes that. I know better. So it ain't what you believe. You only believe what you don't know. And if you don't know, all you got is what? Belief. So when you attain knowledge from experience, now you can overcome what? Your egoism, like David overcame Goliath. That's the egoism. You defeating that monster that you think is so big or so bad. You defeat him with what? Knowledge and egoism, and you reach just what? You overcoming egoism and mortality, the human part of yourself. And now you moving from Aset, which is wisdom, to who? Asar, which is the spirit. And stop right there, shut it down. I'll be back, because now we heading into, oh yeah, the psycho-spiritual journey through the principles of creation. I'm going to break that down for you coming up, but we just moving right along. I'll be right back. Right thinkers in closing. Man, you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I've never known my right thinkers who now understand how to master yourself and spiritual disciplines by practicing daily have passed away.